Tonight, police remind motorists to take care while travelling over the long weekend. And months of delays set for Eyre Peninsula's desalination plant.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamain begins now.
Good evening. Police will be boosting patrols this long weekend, with an influx of travellers expected to visit across the region. Port Pirie Police is hoping for positive results following a disappointing month for road offences in the York Mid-North.
Out in full force this long weekend. Police amping up their patrols and setting up RBTs along the busy stretches of roads, and motorists are being warned.
There'll be a lot of extra police on the road, so I urge motorists to take care and be careful.
It follows a disappointing month for the York Mid-North region, with a handful of drivers caught doing the wrong thing.
We had one that was .36. That's just unbelievable that someone would drive a car with a reading that high.
The senior sergeant anticipating a heightened number of travellers hitting the roads from today.
This afternoon, and then again on Monday afternoon, all the return travellers.
The RAA is also warning residents to prepare for lengthy delays at travel spot hotspots such as Port Wakefield.
Augusta Highway, Copper Coast Highway locations, people coming back from York Peninsula, possibly coming back from some of the Riverland as well.
Police warn there'll be a no-tolerance response to any bad behaviour on the state's roads, with their focus also fixed on school returning.
Tuesday and Wednesday, just to make sure that people do the right thing around the schools. There'll be a lot of kids out and about.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Police are also reminding residents to lock up their houses and sheds before going away this long weekend. It follows multiple break-ins reported across the Spencer Gulf.
Lock it up this weekend. A simple message that can go a long way.
We do get a slight increase after long weekends, burglary type claims.
Police say most criminals are aware of long weekend dates when many residents are likely to go away, leaving their homes and properties unattended.
We would recommend that you don't let people know via social media that you're headed off on the holidays. Sometimes that can be a little bit hard to do because people are excited, but it does tell people that you're not at home.
Authorities also encouraging locals to check their property security is up to date, including ensuring there are not any faulty or loose locks on doors or windows, and checking deadlocks, bolts and other security features are in good condition.
Don't leave your bin out and leave it there over the long weekend, because that's another way to tell people that nobody's at home to bring the bin in.
The RAA also reminding residents to lock away bicycles, barbecues and other expensive outdoor items. Anyone who sees anything suspicious this long weekend is urged to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. Sophia Contagonis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Broken Hill Police is searching for a motorcyclist believed to be involved in a crash yesterday afternoon. Police allege the rider on an unregistered motorbike failed to pull over for officers before colliding with a car. It's understood the rider was wearing a fluoro green helmet. Anyone with information or dashcam footage of the incident is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. A 45-year-old Kadina man was caught drink driving early yesterday morning. Just after 3, patrols pulled over a BMW sedan for a random breath test. The driver allegedly returned a reading of 0.111. Police say there were 2 children in the vehicle at the time. The man was reported and will appear in court at a later date. Meanwhile, a drink driver has escaped serious injury after rolling his car in Coober Pedy. At around 1:30 Wednesday afternoon, police responded to reports a car had crashed and flipped. A 33-year-old local driver was not injured, but submitted a blood alcohol reading of 0.222. He was reported for 2 offences, losing his licence, and will face court at a later date. Eyre Peninsula's $90 million desalination plant is facing major delays, with SA Water now reassessing the site's location. Local government says while it's disappointing, it just wants to get on with the job.
It was meant to provide water security for Lower Eyre Peninsula, but won't be done next year as originally promised.
Getting water security is a real issue for this region.
Construction of Eyre Peninsula's desalination plant has been delayed, meaning residents will have to rely on the supply of groundwater and the River Murray for a little while longer.
Water security for Eyre Peninsula residents is there and is fine, and is absolutely fine in terms of supply until we can get that desalination plant built.
SA Water says the proposed site's rough terrain has led to construction challenges.
We are finding the rock in that area is incredibly hard.
You know, that's been known for 100 years, and they've owned property out there for 100 years, so we're disappointed that's taken them that long to wake up.
SA Water also saying it's now reassessing the site's location. It's unclear though just how much the delayed project will cost ratepayers.
The Premier and the government have backed that project with $100 million, so I'm really confident in the government's motivation to deliver.
Meanwhile, SA Water will be hosting 4 drop-in information sessions here at Lincoln Marine Science Centre next week, an opportunity for the community to chat with the experts.
Talk to us about the project, share your views, because it's important for us to understand, obviously, communities' needs.
Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, a new visual initiative launches to bring more doctors to the region, and a college set to open for those aspiring to work in the mining industry. Welcome back. The Flinders and Far North Doctors Association has launched a new video encouraging GPs and medical students to live and work in the region. It's hoped the video will help tackle the ongoing doctor shortage.
For this doctor, moving to the far north to live and work was never on the agenda, but after relocating to the region with her young family, she made the decision to stay.
Loved the work so much that I decided to, in fact, withdraw from a specialist training pathway that I had already started in Adelaide and was temporarily on leave from, to then be able to pursue work here regionally in a country setting.
Growing up in Adelaide, like many places, she says there are preconceived ideas of what it is like to live and work regionally, but a new video is hoping to change that. The Flinders and Far North Doctors Association highlighting the best of the region, from professional opportunities and ongoing support in the workplace to lifestyle choices for individuals and families.
What we really wanted to do was to show both cutting-edge medicine in Port Augusta and also the great lifestyle that we can have here as well.
For Mandy, life in the region has only been a positive experience.
The community here is just so friendly and so supportive and so welcoming, and given opportunities to work in scenarios and situations that you just wouldn't get opportunities to in the city.
It's hoped the video will encourage medical students and current GPs to consider living and working in the region, while also helping to tackle the ongoing doctor shortage.
One of the major things I think that is become highlighted to me working here is how important primary care providers are, and having more access in general to health professionals.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The Australian College of Mining has announced its head office will relocate to Broken Hill. It's understood local demand for training has been so strong, they're already running courses after officially launching last night.
An empty shed soon to become a national headquarters.
This is going to be the new head office for the Australian College of Mining. We're moving all of our operations from the East Coast out here.
The training provider still in the early stages of establishing its operations here, which will eventually include the construction of classrooms, but strong demand means they're already providing on-site courses.
It's a demand that we didn't anticipate in some areas, but we don't say no to that. We say, well, okay, what are the opportunities? How can we help?
As a local project manager, Narelle Simon says it's a potential game changer for the town, keeping people here for the entire period of their training.
Broken Hill's a mining town. We should have our mining college here. So it's been 2.5 years in the making. It's finally happened.
The company is already working with some of the new players in the local mining industry, setting up at a time when a number of major projects like Cobalt Blue and the Horsens Iron project are currently in the pipeline.
to stay in town, but to become educated, qualified and pick up the work that's here. There's a lot of work here.
We've got silver, lead and zinc, we've got gold, we've got mineral sands. So, yeah, the world is our oyster.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
5 female performers have hit the road, bringing their comedy theatre show to the Spencer Gulf. Performing in Whyalla tonight, the group says the tour has been an experience of a lifetime.
Practicing their dance moves for tonight's act, these ladies bringing all the glitz and glam to Whyalla's Middleback Arts Centre.
Chameleon is it's a life story which starts in country South Australia, kind of ends up in Paris, where I end up studying at a clown school.
Based on the lead performer's real-life experiences, Bridge says the performance originally started as a one-woman show.
So I wrote the show late 2018, the first version of it, and I performed in the Adelaide Fringe Festival as a solo show, and it was a really small space, only 40 people in the audience, really scaled back.
Now developing into something much bigger, for the ladies it's an experience they'll never forget.
I'm very excited. So this is my first ever tour and it's my first professional show.
Taylor says the show has boosted her confidence to be able to step out as her own artist in the industry.
Just learning professionalism in a company of such amazing, strong women. I've learnt so much from all of them.
Tickets for tonight's performance are still on sale at the Middleback ticket box.
I've been wanting to come for some time, so it was really great that we were able to kind of curate a tour within the kind of Eyre Peninsula Spencer Gulf region.
Event organisers calling it a show not to miss.
There's a lot of glitter, disco, bright colours, funky music, so yeah, it's going to be an amazing time.
Sophia Contigonis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. 2 riders travelling across Australia for charity pass through Broken Hill, and Port Augusta children practice their circus skills. Hello again. 2 cyclists have arrived in Broken Hill as they travel from one side of Australia to the other. A physical and emotionally challenging journey. The pair is hoping to start conversations around mental health.
A pit stop 3,000 kilometres in the making.
Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Tara Lal and Sarah Davis arriving in Broken Hill after 40 days in the saddle.
We may be on the bikes for anywhere between 6 hours and 10 hours a day, depending on conditions and weather and hills.
The pair leaving Steep Point in WA last month on a transcontinental journey to end at Byron Bay, a 60-day trip covering more than 5,000 kilometres.
From the westernmost point to the easternmost point for mental health and suicide prevention and to raise awareness and money for Lifeline and Mood Active.
Travelling through remote and regional Australia, they say they're hearing the same stories over again.
There was one very small community we went through which would have only had, I would say, a couple of hundred people there. And the woman we were talking to, she said there'd been 3 suicides in the last 6 months.
Travelling with them are resources to help those experiencing mental health issues. But it's simple conversations that so often make a difference.
Those gentle ripple effects that might allow somebody to reach out for help when they need it.
They'll spend the weekend in Broken Hill before continuing their journey and their conversations on Sunday. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Women across the region are being encouraged to register for a free networking event. 4 international, national and local panellists are set to host the afternoon. The event, held at Mintaro on May 21, will feature a culture and culinary tasting using native plants and wines from leading Clare Valley female winemakers. Bookings can be made online. The Northern and York Landscape Board's grassroots funding will open from next Friday. Local community groups are invited to apply for a share of the $221,000 funding pool. Grants of $1,000 to $10,000 are up for grabs for ground activities such as weed control and watercourse restoration. More information can be found online. There was plenty of fun in Port Augusta today, with Sir Kids visiting the city, running school holiday circus workshops for local children. Aboriginal dance group Dusty Feet Mob also taking part, offering its support with the activities.
Transforming Gladstone Square into a circus spectacular. Local kids today trying their hands at new skills, thanks to a workshop led by Kids.
They're doing lots of things. They're doing stilting like these guys. They're doing tumbling on the air track. They're doing hand-eye coordination things to make their brains really strong.
It's not the first time the organisation has visited the city, with participants saying they're excited to be a part of the fun.
There's lots of things to do.
The last 2 years they've come up and worked with our Dusty Feet kids, and so we decided that this year we'll just do something different and bring it to the Gladstone Square and engage with all families.
Aboriginal dance group Dusty Feet Mob also in attendance.
They just wanted to help and be leaders in teaching other kids what they've had to learn.
From aerobics to riding miniature bikes, there were plenty of activities to try.
A little boy who was 3, he said, I'm here for the first time, but I've come to learn about this. And so it's also giving our kids another option of engaging with sports.
The workshop also giving children the opportunity to learn and further develop critical skills.
Helps us to practice other really good things like teamwork and discipline and being strong in different ways, but we work together to do it. Or we work individually, we can do both.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Our experts will join us with their tips for weekend footy. And we'll have the weather details with Meg Sides. Welcome back. It's that time of the week. Let's hear from our footy experts with their tips for the weekend.
Hello and welcome to round 1 of SGL football. It all gets underway on Saturday when Ports make the trip to Port Augusta to take on reigning Premier South. South have had a few personnel changes but will still field a strong side. Port showed a lot of improvement last season and will hope to continue their upward trend. I'm tipping South. On Sunday here at Memorial Oval, it's the Lions taking on Sollies. The Lions are recruited heavily in the off-season. Sollies had the year off and will be keen to get back into the swing of things. I'm tipping the Lions. Up in Port Augusta on Sunday, it's West taking on Central. I'm tipping West.
Round 3 of Broken Hill football this weekend, and what a cracker it's going to be. Saturday, we see North play South. South have dominated the local competition for the past few years. Started the year a bit slow. North are going through a transition period, playing a lot of kids. I think South will win. We go to Anzac Day Sunday, West and Central. West are sitting on top of the ladder. The Magpies are struggling, but they're having a fair dinkum crack. West will win, I think, by about 40 points, and I'm going to go for South by about the same margin on Saturday.
Round 2 of Whyalla football gets underway Saturday at Bennett Oval. It's the 2 big winners from last week, Rooney Bay versus North Whyalla. This should be a very close game. Both teams look like they'll be playing finals football already this early in the season, but I think the experience of the Magpies will see North get across the line. Saturday's game at Memorial Oval, the 2 big losers from last weekend. It's West Whyalla versus South Whyalla. West did cop a big beating last week, but I think the Dragons will bounce back and have a win on Saturday. And finally, on Sunday at Bennett Oval, it's Rapina versus Central Whyalla. If the Roosters play anything like they did last weekend, they're going to have a very comfortable victory against Rapina on Sunday.
Welcome to Port Lincoln Footy Tips and round 1. We kick things off on Saturday at Wangari, where Marlborough Range are hosting Bostons. I'm tipping Marlborough Range to win this one at home. In the next game, we've got Lincoln South hosting Mallee Park at Centenary Oval. Lincoln South have had an exciting list for the past few years, and with new state coach Luke Duncan, they're bound to impress. Mallee Park, on the other hand, had a year off due to COVID, and I think they're going to come back with a bang. I'm tipping Mallee Park to win this one. In the final game, we've got the Anzac Day Clash on Sunday, where reigning premiers Tasmans hosting Waybacks. Tasmans have lost a few players this year, so I think Waybacks are going to get the win.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Meg Sides.
Thanks, Ruby. From 3 p.m. today, it reached 21 degrees in Port Augusta, 18 and cloudy in Port Lincoln, and mostly sunny in Broken Hill, a top of 20 degrees. Cooper Pedy got to a high of 23, Port Pirie, Whyalla and Woodner all 20 degrees, 18 at Cleve, Kadina and Adelaide. Taking a look at the satellite now, patchy low cloud skimming southern parts of SA, Brisk southwesterly winds behind a cold front is causing isolated showers, mainly over York Peninsula and mid-north. Skies are mostly clear elsewhere under a ridge of high pressure and dry air mass. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, we'll start with the Gulf waters. West to southwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots, seas around 1 metre, and south to southwesterly swells 1 to 1.5 metres. Partly cloudy across the state tomorrow. Port Lincoln a max of 21, Cleve 20 degrees, Woodner 22. 21 degrees in both Whyalla and Kadina. Port Augusta will reach 23. 22 in Port Pirie, Clare a top of 19, and Broken Hill will have a max of 21. Taking a look further through the week now, sunny in Cooper Pedy, Port Augusta both 25 degrees on Sunday. Broken Hill and Whyalla also sunny, a top of 21. Partly cloudy in Woodner and Port Pirie, 24 degrees. 22 in Kadina, partly cloudy in Port Lincoln, 21. Woodner reaching a max of 27 degrees on Monday, Cooper Pedy 25, Port Augusta expecting 26, 25 in Port Pirie, Whyalla and Kadina will get to a top of 23, Broken Hill 21 degrees. To Tuesday now, and it will be sunny across the region, 27 again in Woodner, 26 the top in Port Augusta and Cooper Pedy. Port Pirie will get to 25 degrees, Whyalla and Kadina to reach 24, Port Lincoln and Adelaide 23, and Broken Hill will reach a max of 21 degrees. Well, I hope you have a lovely weekend. That's all the weather from me tonight. It's back to you, Ruby.
Wonderful, thanks for that, Meg. Before we leave you tonight, we're being encouraged to pay our respects at Anzac Day dawn services on Sunday. In Port Lincoln, the public are being invited to attend Centenary Oval at 6:30 for the service, with a flyover to be held at 11 a.m. In Whyalla, the dawn service will be held at 6:10 at the Memorial Gates. Meanwhile, in Port Augusta, it's invite only, but a public commemorative service will start at 11 a.m. In Port Pirie, members are being encouraged to lay poppies throughout the day at the World War I gates. And in Broken Hill, the public can attend a service at the Cenotaph on Argent Street at 6 a.m. And that's the local news this Friday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening and have a lovely long weekend. Good night.